Hulk versus Captain America. Strength versus strategy. In the heart of the Rocky Mountains, where the peaks pierced the sky and silence stretched for miles, a storm brewed, not one of wind or rain, but of titanic power and unyielding will. The air crackled with tension as the ground trembled beneath footsteps that could shake the world. Hulk stood at the edge of a shattered plateau, his massive green form rising like a force of nature itself. His muscles bulged with raw power. His eyes glowed with fury restrained by the thinnest of threads. Behind him lay a trail of destruction, a test site long since evacuated. Hulk hadn't meant to destroy it. He never meant to destroy, but when rage pulsed through him, destruction followed. Across the ruined terrain, a lone figure stood tall, shield in hand, unwavering. Captain America, Steve Rogers, a man out of time but never out of place. His uniform bore the scratches of countless battles, yet his stance remained firm, a symbol of resilience. The two had fought side by side countless times. Avengers, friends. But today was different. Today was a test. The world had changed. Threats had evolved. The Avengers had disbanded, reformed, and scattered. In the wake of a new global arms race involving metahumans and enhanced beings, the question arose again and again. Who was the most powerful being on Earth? Some said Hulk, for his unmatched strength. Others pointed to Captain America, not for raw power, but for his brilliance in combat, his indomitable will, and the ability to outmaneuver opponents many times his size and strength. And so, at a classified site in the mountains, with all precautions taken and no lives at risk, the two had agreed to a friendly duel. No weapons of mass destruction, no interference. Just Hulk and Cap. Strength versus strategy. Hulk's deep growl echoed through the mountains. "You sure you want this, Cap?" Steve adjusted the strap of his shield. "I don't want this, Bruce, but the world needs to know how we stand." Green fingers clenched into fists. "Bruce, not here." With a roar that shook snow from the distant peaks, Hulk charged. Steve didn't wait. He sprinted forward, shield raised, mind racing. Hulk was faster than people thought. He closed the distance in seconds, a blur of muscle and might. A giant green hand came down like a meteor. Steve rolled, the ground where he'd stood exploding into a crater. He was up again instantly, hurling the shield. It bounced off Hulk's shoulder, barely phasing him, but ricocheted into Cap's hand. He used the momentum to vault off a boulder, launching himself at Hulk's head. The impact rang out like a gunshot. Steve's shield struck Hulk's temple, just hard enough to throw him off balance. Hulk growled, stumbling, but recovered with frightening speed, grabbing Cap midair. With a grunt, Hulk hurled him like a ragdoll. Steve crashed into a cliff face, bones rattling, breath knocked out of him. He stood again. Blood trickled from his lip. "Come on," Steve muttered to himself. He's not unbeatable. He'd studied Hulk, knew his psychology, his rage, his triggers. Hulk grew stronger the angrier he got, but less focused. Cap had to dance on that razor's edge, push Hulk far enough to get sloppy, but not so far he lost control completely. Cap led Hulk on a chase, baiting him, dodging just in time to avoid a lethal blow, planting traps. Smoke bombs to obscure vision, small charges to trip him up. He used the terrain, tight cliffs, narrow passes, dense trees, to force Hulk to slow down, adapt. At one point, Hulk plowed through a granite pillar, only to find himself blinded by a flash grenade. Cap swooped in, landing a series of calculated strikes, joints, pressure points, nothing lethal, just disruptive. Hulk flailed, smashing rocks, howling. But every blow was getting harder to avoid. Cap's leg buckled under a shockwave punch. He rolled down a slope, battered, bruised, coughing blood. Hulk stomped after him, lips curled in a snarl. "Enough games!" Hulk roared. Steve knew he couldn't win by brute force. This was never about beating Hulk. It was about surviving, outlasting, outthinking. He reached a plateau dotted with ancient trees. Then he stopped, waited. Hulk emerged from the tree-line, shoulders heaving, muscles twitching. Steve raised his shield slowly. "Still standing," Hulk said, half amused. "Always," Steve replied. Hulk charged again. This time Cap didn't run. He pivoted at the last second, redirecting Hulk's momentum with his shield and a planted foot. Hulk crashed into one of the great trees, cracking it at the base. Cap used the falling trunk as cover, sliding under and launching up to Hulk's back. He jabbed a tranquilizer. Not enough to knock out Hulk, but enough to slow him. Hulk roared in pain and fury, reaching back. Cap leapt off before he could be grabbed. "You cheat," Hulk bellowed. "No," Steve said, catching his breath. "I survive." It went on for hours. Cap falling, getting up. Hulk roaring, charging, smashing. But eventually Hulk's movements slowed. His punches lost some of their deadly precision. His breathing grew heavier, and Steve Rogers, battered and bleeding, was still standing. When the sun began to set behind the mountains, painting the snow orange and red, Hulk slumped to one knee. Cap approached cautiously. "You done?" he asked. Hulk looked up, his rage simmering into something closer to respect. He gave a tired, almost grudging nod. "You're tougher than you look, tiny man," Steve chuckled, wincing. "And you're smarter than you act, big guy." They stood in silence for a moment, warriors recognizing each other's worth. The battle hadn't been about who could destroy the other. It was a test of limits, of endurance, of what truly makes someone powerful. And in the end, it wasn't strength or strategy alone that won. It was the heart behind them both.